Everybody can join this private league, and it's completely free to play, right? I'm going to show you the private league right now, might as well, because it is already up and it's available for you guys to join, right? It's this one here, Free Tip Scale MLS Cup, right? It starts on game week 387. So it's not the midweek game week, it's this weekend's game week, right? The upcoming weekend's game week. So basically, in 5 days' time, this league starts scoring. And you can join this really easily. There's the code, first of all. But if you go onto my Twitter page, pinned to the top of my profile is this tweet and all the information you need to get started, to join the league, and to understand the prizes that are on offer here, and how you can actually be eligible for them are all in this pin tweet. So there's over $1,000 worth of prizes to be won. It costs you nothing to join. It's available for everyone and anyone to join. The link is there. The code to join is FSCOUT, which you can see on the pin tweet, and you can also see here, FSCOUT. Make sure that you join it, and you do need to have a Sorare and a Pookie account in order to play in the private league. So if you already have both a Sorare and a Pookie account, great, you're good to go. If you don't have a Sorare and a Pookie account, then of course, make sure that you use the links, not only here in the chat, but you can also find the links to sign up by clicking on the tweet. And then there's a little bit of a thread here. And then on the first message, you'll see the link to sign up to Sorare. And this link will also take you into the league. So when you click that link, you can create a new account if you don't have one. And you can also then join the league. And then, of course, this is the link that you need to use to sign up to Pookie as well. You'll find the Sorare link in the chat right now. And you will also find, again, the Pookie link in the chat right now as well. So both of the links are there in case you are brand new to Sorare or Pookie. Big thank you to everyone that uses the links because, as I say, it really helps to support the channel. And I cannot run the channel, all the costs associated with it. I can't do all the giveaways. I can't do the content without all your support by using the links and by also with the subs as well. So big thank you, guys. Make sure that you join. I'm really looking forward to this. I really want to win this epic Pokeball, which is worth $400 right now. So this epic Pokeball, you see here, there's only 3 of these available right now. It's worth just shy of about $400, but this price will be increasing the more Pokeballs are sold. So eventually this will be worth about $400. This is a huge prize, absolutely huge prize. And for someone like me who plays Pookie quite a bit, this is massive. If you play Pookie quite a bit, then you know how big this is, because I've only got 1 rare. I'm thinking about picking up another rare, but I would love to have an epic, because if I have an epic, or if anybody has an epic, if they were able to win this epic Pokeball, you will be able to win so much crypto in Pookie. It's just a game changer, that ball. The rares are also equally good, so being able to win those rares for 2nd and 3rd are good. There's also limited cards in here as well. So we've got Tier 1 Sorare limited cards, Tier 2s, Tier 3s. All the information, as I say, guys, is in the graphic and also on this tweet, which is pinned to the top of my profile. So make sure you join, because now the MLS Amateur is going to get a lot more serious. There's something to play for now, guys, basically. And if you've been playing Sorare for a while, you know that the amateurs, they're okay to play, but they're a little bit demotivating at times because it's so difficult to win card rewards in them. This gives you an extra incentive now to start to take your MLS Amateur drafts and to make sure that your lineup building and scouting properly for your MLS Amateurs way more seriously, because there are some serious prizes on offer here that you can win absolutely for free. So I will see you all in there. I'll keep reminding you guys over the course this week about to join, because we want to try and really get the numbers up here and make it a really fun, really big community effort on the league. But for now, let's crack on, shall we? Herrera is just good to have in general. I think, not only for this game, but just, for the rest of the MLS season. He's a heavy hitter. He did play against Canada, and he also played against Cuba, and in both games, he delivered scores of 60 points or more. So that's what I love about Herrera. He gives you also international utility, and he gives you good high-end scoring as well. Somebody that I would have loved to have actually had in my teams for this game week, but his L15 is just a little bit too high for me to play in Cap 220. but it's still good enough that you can play in cap 220 if you work out the rest of the other players around him. Very good player, one to really look at, and he's really cheap. Look, you can probably pick him up for less than £2. So Thierry Ambrose is a really good player. Look, this is how he's been doing, right? Against Canada, he got a goal. Against Cuba, he got an assist. He's been smashing it. And he's such a good player in general. We spoke about this guy recently because I said that you don't need to spend a lot of money if you're looking at a forward for threshold. And one of the forwards that we use as an example was Thierry Ambrose. He's so consistent at scoring for club and also for country, like here, and he's also really cheap. He's probably a bit more expensive at the moment, given that his form right now for country, and also that he's one of the few players that has a game in the midweek. His rare is okay, though. I would probably like to pay less than £50 for him. I don't really like the team Ostenda, because Ostenda, if you remember, Ostenda got relegated. So he technically doesn't have coverage unless he gets a move, right? And I don't know whether he's had a move yet, Thierry Ambrose, but he definitely should get one because he's too good to play in the division below, in the second division, basically the Belgium league. He's too good. So he's a good player. I like how he's performing at the moment for Guadeloupe. Laria, we didn't even really touch on, but Laria is fantastic. So Laria, since he joined Toronto again, he's brilliant. Look at that. Look at his performance, Laria. Absolutely brilliant. When he moved to England, it was a shocker for him because he only had a couple of games. He just wasn't really comfortable. He wasn't really considered good enough really to be playing for Nottingham Forest. So then he basically moved back to Toronto. And he's been on fire. These performances recently have been crazy from Laria. The scoring that he's offering here, some of the best scoring that he's ever been able to deliver in Sorare. 81 against Guatemala, 60.78 against Guadeloupe. Then for Toronto, 83.4. Then against Nashville, 60. Against Minnesota, 84. Guy's just on fire really at the moment. Gives you a nice mix of attack and returns, so goals, assists, penalties won, plus his AA is pretty good too. Look at that. AA of 46.9, AA of 48.48, an AA of... Here, Ortega's decent. So Francisco Ortega's really good. Huge averages here, only 24 years of age, really consistent performer. Gives you scores in the mid-range, plus scores of 60 points or more. Good AA. I don't think he's that expensive. I think £4.73 is actually really good for this type of player. And he plays quite consistently. He never really bombs on you. He gives you nice attacking returns as well, look. So in like 112 games, he's got 3 goals, 10 assists, which is pretty good, I think, for a left-back. So I like him a lot. I think he's really good. Couple of other players, Giannetti. Giannetti's brilliant, 29 years old, £9.12 average, but look at the scoring you get from him. Very consistent. And what I like about him is that even when Vélez Sarsfield do not get a clean sheet, he still delivers really good scoring. So you can see here, look, they basically lose 2-1, but he gets a score of 63. Then when they do actually get the clean sheet, he has the potential to get into the 80-point and 70-point range and above because he's then getting that 10-point clean sheet bonus. Here, 0-0, 69. Here, they concede 2 goals against River Plate. It's a draw, but he still gets 63. Here, they lose 1-0. He gets 68. Here, they lose 2-1, but he gets 46, which is respectable. And then he loses 2-1 again, and he gets a score of 68. The guy is so good. He's really good. So if you're looking for like a defender for this midweek and you just want a nice, reliable score of 60 points or more, this is probably one of the best players that you can look at for the midweek. Lautaro Giannetti. 100% projected to start. Starts in pretty much every single game. Just a high performer. Look at that. That's his scoring in Sorare. He's very, very consistent. He's very overlooked as well. I don't see this guy in a lot of teams, to be absolutely honest with you. And it's a surprise because I don't really see a lot of people really talking about him, and he's very, very good. Probably the only, look at that, his AA is 23.6 across 70 games, right? That's his average AA per game. That is brilliant. That is so good. Probably one of the reasons why we don't see him being talked about enough is because his L15 is so high. So I guess if you were looking to use a defender in Cap 220 and Cap 240, he would be out of the question pretty much for Cap 220. For Cap 240, you could make it work, but it would be a real squeeze then to try and fit the rest of the players in around him. Cap 270, perfect. You can use him no problem at all in Cap 270. And of course, in All-Star, you can also use him too. Champion America would be great for this guy because then there's no cap at all in Champion America. And so you can just play him with this L15 of 61 and then just sit back and watch him deliver. Orlando. Pereira. Pereira is brilliant. He's a player that has been brilliant for Orlando for years and years and years. He's only £4.34, which is really good. He's a little bit out of form right now, but he's the type of player that can all of a sudden just turn it on at the flick of a switch. And he's got a good opponent score here. So on average, midfielders have been scoring 54 against Toronto. He's usually in or around kind of the attacking plays that they have. He's got a lot of assists. He's got not as many goals. He's more of a provider than a scorer, but he's a very good player. He's not a DP anymore. He used to be a designated player for Orlando until this season, but he's still a very important player for them. So really good. Maguire, by the way, Duncan Maguire has been a bit of a revelation so far this season. So if you look at his scoring here, Duncan Maguire has started 6. He's played 17 in total. He's got 6 goals and he's got 2 assists. Now, I wouldn't necessarily look at this player because you never know, look, when he's going to start and when he's going to be on the bench, right? There's almost too much rotation that's happening in the forward lines for Orlando. But as a player to look at going forward, this is him. Because if he's able to do that in such limited starts, imagine what happens when you start this guy a bit more. So maybe he's going to really come alive next season if they decide to give him way more starts than what they are this season. But there's still plenty of the season left to play. And he's a nice little option where he's an under 23 player that's really starting to break through this year. He's expensive at £14.56, so I probably wouldn't look to get him for more than £10. I'd be looking to get him for less than £10 really, and as low as I could. Because you guys know in Sorare how it works. If you think this is cheap, £14.56, then eventually he'll get to £10. And if you buy him at £10, you think, okay, that's a bargain. I have to pick him up. And then eventually he'll get to £5, and then you'll be like, okay, now you have less and less chance to sell that player for a profit. Because if you bought him for £10 or £15, and then there's loads of other managers that then bought him for £5, if they then want to sell at the same time as you, they can sell for £6 and make a profit, and you can have to sell for like £6 too, and then maybe make a loss of like £8, right? So that's why I always say in Sorare, try and pick up your players for as cheap as possible. Because if you don't, it's going to be very difficult for you to then sell these players on and exit out of them in the future. But if you're looking to invest in players for the long term and you have no real intentions to be switching out of players in the very near future, it'd be a really good investment. The important thing is that good players will come good, right? And that's why if you invest in a good player, you don't have to worry and don't have to panic if they have a bit of a dip, right? They'll always come good for you. But when you buy bad players, that's when you're then doing it wrong, right? But Pereira is a good player, and so he will start to perform for you eventually, and most likely in this next game. Yeah, I see a lot of Sorare managers that are maybe not all Sorare managers, right? But I do see quite a few Sorare managers that don't invest in good players. They invest in players that are doing well, like form players, basically. And then they wonder why they all of a sudden kind of turn crap, as in like they stop basically delivering for them. It's because you invest in a player that is hot for like a little moment, rather than actually investing in a good player. So someone like Carl Smith, for example, right? Carl Smith, for me, is not a good player, right? I don't rate him. I don't think he's that good, to be absolutely honest with you. And what you might find is that there'll be some players, some managers out there that might invest in him hard when he starts to deliver and go through a bit of a run like that. So when Carl Smith starts to like really deliver some good scoring here, they might invest in him, and then they'll be questioning then why he's then delivering scores like this. But you have to invest in a good player. This is not a good player. He's going to have some good moments, but ultimately he's not good enough to be investing in for the long term. Whereas someone like Pereira, absolutely 100% is really just a great investment. And to be honest as well, he's actually the perfect type of player really to be investing in when he is going through a bit of a dip, right? So when he goes through this dip like here, of like say 5 games without really anything, that's the time to then pick up that player. Because then most likely what will happen is that his price will then drop because everyone will start to become impatient with him. He's not delivering. He must be a bad player. And so then the prices will then drop. That's the time to then pick him up. So like here, for example, when he was dropping down here, this would have been a good time to pick him up. And then he's starting to increase a little bit, not massively. Look, you want to be, basically with good players, you want to be picking them up, of course, here, right? As cheap as you can. He's actually stabilized, hasn't he, quite a bit. He's not really massively gone up and down. It's kind of quite nice to see. A bit of price stability there. Unusual to see in Sorare, but we welcome it. That now is a really good time to be investing in some Inter Miami players, right? That you think are going to still remain a core part of the squad when the likes of Busquets and then Lionel Messi join. And one of those was Josef Martinez. And so we've already gone out and we've already brought in Josef Martinez into our MLS amateur team. And lo and behold, after we've done that, he then scored a goal. And so again, what you have to think about here, guys, is that if you look at the performances from Inter Miami, they've been bad all season, really. They had a little kind of like a little period here of like 3 games where they were not that bad. But generally speaking, they lose every single game. Now, they've had a new manager. He's come in. I'm sure he's lifted a lot of the weights off everyone's shoulders and said, look, whatever's happened in the past, forget about it. We're going to do things my way now. It's going to be way better. He's starting to show them, because he's a very experienced and very credible manager, he's starting to show them that you are actually good players and that this, if you follow this process, we will be able to achieve better things than what you've done before. And you can already see that this is the first game for Tati Martino, actually. And he's able to help them to a draw. And so what you have to think about here is that pretty much every Inter Miami player is going to be upping their level of performances now in preparation for when Messi and Busquets join. But also, the new manager is going to be setting a lot higher standards for them because he's such an internationally recognized manager. He's such a big manager that he will demand a lot more from the players than what, say, Phil Neville was demanding from them. And tactically as well, he's going to get them to play a bit better too. So somebody like Josef Martinez, I think he has another home game here against Columbus. Now, Columbus are decent, but I would not be surprised if Josef Martinez then gets another goal here. And the reason we picked him up from last week on our MLS Amateur is because we are expecting his level of scoring to start to go through the roof, not only just now, but also when Messi joins, because then he has somebody that will provide him loads more goal-scoring opportunities and probably loads of tap-ins as well, because Messi will draw out so many players, right, out of position. He'll be causing panic amongst the defence. They won't know what to do. It's Messi. And it will just free up a lot of space for someone like Josef Martinez to run into. So we'll have a lot of really easy goals to score that will be as a result of Messi. So Josef Martinez is a good forward to target now, to target for this. Honestly, I basically bought Aylman. I have his card here. I bought Aylman. I picked him up for 50 pounds. £50. He's now £3. So imagine how difficult that's going to be for me to sell him now. I pretty much can't sell him unless I sell him at a ridiculous loss, right? I'm pretty much locked into this guy for the rest of his career on Sorare. Because if I sell him, I then have to realize a huge loss. If I don't sell him, then I never realize that loss. So I'm invested in him now forever, I think. Look at this here, actually. Probably not good viewing. Look at this here. Let's go back to all time. I bought him here. I bought him here, and then basically a couple of days later, he then just dropped, kind of massively dropped, and then he's just not been able to recover. At one point here, look at this guy. Somehow this guy bought him for 209, which doesn't really make sense at all. He could have been like kind of caught out there. Maybe he thought he was buying the card for £20 and he ended up buying it for like 209. But yeah, I'm locked into this guy forever now because I can't see his price ever getting to £50 or £100. The funny thing is, when I bought him, I actually thought I was getting him for a really good price because previously, look, if you look at when I actually bought him, right, forget about everything else here, right? I actually bought him quite cheap based on what he had been going for previously, right? Because previously, he had kind of been going for higher than that. And then just like all of a sudden, when I bought him, he just dropped. And it was brutal. So yeah, not nice, really. But I like the guy. Actually, although Caruso is one of their best players, actually. So Caruso had a really big injury. He ruptured his tendon, I think. So he had, like a really serious injury that put him out for a large part of last season and quite a large part of this season too. He's excellent because when he gets going, he can score really well. His AA is fantastic. He's a really good player, by the way, to target now. So Guzman Caruso, you need to be picking him up now, guys, before his L15s start to get really high and then before his price gets really high. Because let me tell you, £1.70 for this type of player that basically delivers AAs of like 15, 16 on average is really, really good. So if you don't have Guzman Caruso and you're looking for a cheap defender in your MLS teams, then this is the guy for you before his price will increase. Because his price will increase, I can guarantee you that. His price is really low now. He's now got 2 starts under his belt. When he gets another 3 under his belt, his L5 will then improve, then his L15 will improve, and then his playing times will improve massively as well. And then that will then start to attract a lot more manager eyes on this type of guy. Plus also, to be fair, I think his actual level of scoring will improve. Almost the same with Pulido. Do you remember what I said about Pulido? I said with Pulido, let's bring up Pulido here in case you don't know. It's the same situation that with Pulido. I said pick up Pulido when he's £5, right? Because if you wait until his playing time increases and his L5 and L15 playing time increase, his averages will also increase too. But you have to be patient with Pulido because when he came back from a very long-term serious injury, he wasn't just automatically, from the get-go, going to start hitting these types of scores, right? It would take him a little bit of a while to bring up to sort of like to gain that momentum and to kind of get up to that match sharpness where he could then start to get back to what he was doing pre-injury, right? And he's now starting to do that. It's exactly the same with Guzman Caruso. You need to be a bit patient with him. I'm pretty sure over the next 10 games, he's going to start to deliver more higher level scoring. So this is the time to pick him up when he's really cheap like this before his price increases. So we're going to start looking and talking about Pookie, guys, because we play this and we cover it on the streams. It's a big part of what we do now, and for good reason, because Pookie is the next big thing in Web3 sports games, and it's a sports prediction game, which basically means that you predict on football games what you think the scores are going to be, and then if you are correct, even if you're not 100% correct, if you're partially correct, you actually have the chance to win some crypto. And it's really easy to win. Really easy. I cannot stress it enough. You only need to finish in the top 50%. So even if you are having a shocking game week, right, you can still smash it. And the way that you play Pookie is you need to get a Pokeball. So there's currently 140 available. There are different types of Pokeballs in the game. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for you guys right now. There's the link in the chat. So I know a lot of you guys have been using it and you've been signing up to Poking. You've been having a lot of fun and you've been enjoying it, which is great because it is a lot of fun to play and it's very rewarding as well. So do not miss out on Pookie. Get involved because you will really like what you see here and it actually complements what you do on Sorare too. So when you are playing Pookie, you will find that you will get a better knowledge about teams overall, not just players, but if you have players playing for a certain team and you start to look into that team's matches, trust me, your knowledge on that team and that league will improve. And if you can improve your knowledge on leagues and teams, then that's going to help your knowledge about players and how you need to pick them and when you need to pick them in Sorare. So at the moment, there is 140 Pokeballs available. Use the link in the chat to get started today. When you use that link, it will not give you one of these Pokeballs. These Pokeballs you need to buy. The cheapest entry Pokeball is 35 Matic, which is $24 right now on the exchange rate. And all you need to do is you just need to have at least one of these balls, right? These are digital collectible Pokeballs, right? So when you buy one, you own it forever, right? It's yours to do with whatever you want to do with. You can sell it, you can keep it and use it to offer you and to give you rewards. You can trade it eventually, because that's not here in the game right now, but eventually you'll be able to trade your Pokeballs. But if you have one Pokeball, at least one Pokeball, you can then start to play in the Pro Leagues. And the Pro Leagues, if you don't know, I'm just going to show you, are these ones here. So all of these leagues, apart from this one, which is free to play, these are the leagues which are active right now, because these are the leagues that actually have seasons right now. When the Premier League comes back and all the other European seasons come back, you'll then be able to enter those leagues too. And it's really simple, Pookie. Really simple. It's not complicated at all, so everybody can pick up and play it. And it's very rewarding. So if we just go in here, let's say you pick up a Pokeball and you decide to buy a common one, right? Once you've bought that common Pokeball, you will then be able to enter it into a league. And you'll have some energy that you'll need to spend. And every time you use your energy, you're making a prediction. It costs 10 energy to make one prediction. And everybody who plays Pookie, who starts off, gets 100 energy. But when you then start to collect more Pokeballs, that will increase your total energy. So you can see at the moment, I have 143 energy. I started with 102, but I've been able to increase my energy by an extra 43, because at the moment, I have one rare Pokeball, and I also have 3 common Pokeballs as well. And these are the actual Pokeballs that exist on the blockchain. So these are kind of like the actual NFTs with utility. These rookie Pokeballs here are like the Pookie equivalent of Sorare cards, right? So you can use them to play in the free-to-play league, which is like the amateur league. But these Pokeballs do not have any value. You can't sell them, you can't trade them. They are just to kind of get started in the game. And you will get 2 of these free rookie balls when you use that link that is in the chat there again. So make sure you use it and you can give yourself 2 free rookie balls to get started with. When you have one Pokeball, like a common, at least a common, of course, if you just have one rare or if you have one epic or one legendary, it doesn't really matter. What matters is you need to have at least one of these, right? And when you have one of these, you can then play in the Pro Leagues. And so then what you would do is, let's just go into match day 9. Let's go into match day 9, for example. You then choose what league you want to go into. So at the moment, we are competing in the USA League, which is the MLS League, right? And when we want to make a prediction, we simply click on the game that we are interested in making the prediction, right? And then we basically, you get a scoreboard here, and then it will come up with the Pokeball that you've bought. Now, if you have several Pokeballs, you can rotate between them, because every Pokeball you have will give you different bonuses, right? That can boost your scoring. So we've got this common Pokeball. You can also click on the ball. And when you click on the ball, it shows you the collection you've got. And then you can kind of like switch between which one you think is going to give you a better scoring or is more suited towards the prediction that you want to do. We always tend to use our rare ball at the moment, because it's way more powerful than our other Pokeballs. So it's giving us the best bonuses every time. And so what we would do here is we would say, oh, we think that, Inter Miami are going to win, say 2-1. And when you put the score in there, it shows you where you get the points from based on the boost that you have from your Pokeball. And then it shows you your total score that you could possibly get from this scoreline 2-1 if it comes in 100%. So if this is exactly 2-1, we would get 310.4 points, right? And this points here is based off the odds. It's calculated based off the odds for that scoreline to happen. So that scoreline, if that has low odds, as in like a low price for that to happen, then it's going to give you lower scoring. If you go for something a bit crazy like that, you would expect to get a lot higher points, right? Because it's very unlikely that a scoreline is going to be like that. So if you take a higher risk with your scores that you're predicting, you should be rewarded with higher points, right? If you take a lower risk, if you're looking at a game where both teams look like they're going to probably draw and you go for 1-1, then you're going to be getting lower points. Now, the thing to bear in mind with Pookie is that you do not, right? This is really important. You do not need to get your predictions 100% correct in order to finish in the top 50% of the leaderboards on Pookie. You do not need to do it at all. All you need to do is get some of your prediction partially correct, and then that will still give you points, which will allow you to keep climbing the leaderboard. So if we put this prediction in, which we can't right now, because we don't have enough energy, we've only got 3 energy, you need to have 10 energy to make a prediction. We're going to have our energy refilled later on tonight at 1 minute to 12, and it gets fully refilled up to 143, and then we can go out basically and make more predictions. If we had 10 energy, we could put our prediction in, like here on the scoreboard, then press set prediction, and away it goes. It's then ready to be, that's it. We've locked it in for the game week, right? As I say, you don't need to be very good. So this match day is live right now.
Welcome.
There are 555 players playing in this match day. FTS, I have a question. I have 200 POC. What would you say is the best prediction attributes to increase? Should they all be equal? No, they shouldn't be. Don't make all your attributes equal. Like, focus on a couple of attributes and then go hard on them. It depends on what you're good at predicting, and it depends on the league that you want to enter. Right here, what you can see is that there are 555 players, right, that have entered this this live match day. So I am competing against 554 other managers out there that have made their predictions, right? We need to finish in the top 50% in this pro league in order for me to win some cryptocurrency. Right now, we are currently sitting 123rd. We are very comfortably in the top 50%, and so we're going to earn some crypto. So if we finish 123rd, and there's only 2 games left to play here, right? 2 games which start on Wednesday. If we end up finishing in the top 50% here, we'll earn some crypto. And the amount that you win is determined by the total amount of Pokeballs that have been sold. So the more Pokeballs that are sold on Poke, the prize pool will increase every time they sell some Pokeballs. So as they sell more, this prize pool goes up. And then also based on where you finish, you can then earn a certain amount. So if you finish higher up, you get a bigger share of the prize pool. If you finish lower down, you can still win something, but you get a lower share of the prize pool. So if we kind of finish in this range here, from 90 to 149, because we are currently sitting 123rd, wasn't it? Yeah, 123rd. Then if we did finish 123rd, we would earn somewhere between 1.12 Matic to 1.39 Matic. A Matic is the cryptocurrency that is the crypto that you win, and it's the cryptocurrency which is native to the Polygon blockchain, which this game is built and runs on. So congratulations to Donny VV. Congratulations to the Dogwatch, who wins Rolando Mandragora. And then congratulations to Sorare, who wins Alex Bangara. Those are the 3 winners here today. And we will be doing more giveaways as well, guys, on tomorrow's stream if we have another giveaway activated. Guys, thank you so much, man, because it's been pretty amazing. As always, you guys have been great. I've enjoyed today. Hopefully you guys did too. And you picked up a load of new player ideas as well for your midweek or just your teams in general. Plus, you're getting involved in Pookie because we will be doing loads more stuff this week to help you guys start winning some crypto, some money on Pookie. So thank you so much, guys.